This is my
All right,
moment.
it's Gender Clash. Go ahead, keep talking. I wanted to capture the reel. So we're here with a friend of ours named Maxine, and
a good friend.
yeah, she's a good friend. She's
Yes, I am.
This is going to be a fun one. I can guarantee you that. Check out Gender Clash on all of the podcast channels, and if we don't get shut down for this one, then you can listen to them again. So, hello, sweetheart. How are you?
Hi, honey.
Hi. We're in the same room again.
Finally
It's kinda
back.
weird. Yeah, we're finally back.
It's been a long time.
We're going to do
It's
this
been
more
like
often than every 3 weeks we throw
I know.
out
It's
there.
just because we're busy, dude. We're busy.
We're busy,
Life
dude.
gets in the way.
And we've got Maxine with us here
We
tonight.
got Maxine
Yes.
Butler in the house.
In it.
Woo, woo, woo. Like
Mac-
literally in the house.
We were
Literally.
supposed to be out to dinner right now celebrating her birthday, but she saved us a nice check
A nice
Sure
chunk of
did.
change.
by wanting to stay in and do Chinese.
Yes.
We were going to take her to 618 in Freehold. For those of you who are local, 618 is a nice spot.
plug in
It's
the restaurant.
our probably favorite spot right now, right?
It's up there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice casual, but upscale.
It's not casual at all. It's
Mature.
completely
No,
upscale.
I think it's
but
casual.
the food is
Casual
very good.
dressing.
But
You can
go
casually
jeans.
dress, but it's
Yeah,
it's a
get away
little
with jeans.
higher end. You can wear whatever you want,
It's
but you're gonna
higher
feel out of
end,
place. You're gonna
but
feel out of
casual
place.
It's a
for
nice
dressing.
ambiance.
She likes it because
is.
it looks like a place the housewives would go. It's got that
That
high
sounds
end
like her.
bullshit kind of thing going to it. Yeah,
I'm like into
And
housewives.
what did I vote for? Chinese food.
Chinese
Chinese
Chicken and
food.
broccoli.
from Jumbo Kitchen.
From
which is a
Jumbo
great-
Kitchen, which
is a great
costs us
Chinese
literally
food.
like
Nothing.
a
Pennies.
tenth the price.
yeah.
Pennies.
So thank
All right,
you,
so
Maxine.
we didn't go into this with any topics, so we're just gonna wing it.
Oh, Jesus.
We're gonna wing it. Maxine, you got anything you want to talk about since you're the guest of honor tonight? There you go. What's up?
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
She's
Hi.
sending. She's
In my
floating the
PJs.
camera
In my
around in your
PJs.
PJs.
Nobody needs to know
Floating
it's your
the camera
PJs.
around.
It just says be a dreamer. Nobody needs to know that's your PJ.
Oh boy, this is what it's going to be like all night with these two. Everyone,
I
I'm gonna
know.
warn
I
you.
know.
They're like dudes.
I don't really have a topic.
No?
No, I don't.
You don't have anything that you would like to discuss that men
Anything
and women
that's-
clash with, that we think differently about?
You know, it's so funny that when I listen to the podcast when I'm driving,
You think of a
you
million
think
things,
of so
right?
many
Yeah.
things that you want to come up with, but when you're actually
No? You don't have
in
a
the
topic?
moment doing it, I'm
Okay.
drawing a blank.
All
I
right.
think that we have topics,
We
right?
have several
Yeah.
topics. We have a
Oh,
bunch.
geez.
Okay,
All
I'm just going to throw one out. I'll just pick it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's
Well,
a good
can
one
you
or
give
not.
me three and then I'll
And
just
these
I
are
can give you-
surprise
no.
topics for Maxine and probably for me. Like, I think I
Well,
know
it's
one of
definitely
You've
a
been
them.
involved
surprise for
with
me
most
because
of them.
I asked you guys and you
Right.
guys said, nope, I have to wait.
Nope.
Okay, so
Surprise, surprise.
we're gonna save the real good one for the next podcast. It'll probably take up the whole. Oh boy, here we go. We've also been drinking for a couple of hours, so just
Yeah.
expect some hijinks. So we have a real good topic that I guess we could do it, right? It should be fun.
Yes.
All right. So, as most of you know, Maritza and I got married a few months ago, and one of the only things
Babe. It's almost 6 months.
it'll be 6 months Friday.
Yes. So this
Oh.
is like half a year that we've been married.
Oh,
This
my
is
God.
like monumental.
Yes, monumental. And as we were going through all the wedding stuff, one of the things we had like so many disagreements, shall we say, about
Oh,
is
honey.
the guest list.
This wedding almost broke us
Yes, and the guest list was
because
a big
my
reason.
husband was Groomzilla.
No way.
No,
Babe,
you're crazy, girl.
babe,
I'm not
Groomzilla.
Groomzilla at all. Dude, I had nothing.
Groomzilla.
I had nothing at all to do with the wedding planning. The Groomzilla was because I wanted to invite people I wanted to invite. That was the only thing. Other
He's
than that,
America's best friend,
America's
and everybody
best
his
friend, yeah.
best friend, and everybody has to be there. I'm like, no, not everybody's your
Okay,
best
so
friend.
So the reason.
Intimate wedding. What does that mean?
Small
Right.
So yeah, and we
and
did
very
have some,
intimate.
but we
Right.
also
The
have
true
different
closest
opinions
friends.
on what a
Right.
small wedding is. I grew up in Brooklyn where small weddings were 150 to 200 people. That was a small wedding. So regardless of all of that, the reason we're even bringing this up, not so we can argue about our stuff.
You wanted like good
I
entertainment.
do.
So this
I do.
is gonna
I'm
be
saying,
probably our
but
first
I'm-
argument.
But I'm saying,
I'm just
plus
saying,
plus the
I
alcohol,
warned
plus
you.
Maxine.
I warned you.
That's fine. I am so ready. So the reason this is brought up is that our niece Yep, our niece,
Yes,
our niece,
niece.
Aw. Our niece and future
Stephanie.
nephew are in the process of planning a wedding, and lo and behold, they're having the same discussion about guest
Because
list and
Matt
who
is
should
America's best friend too.
come.
Like
How can this? You can only be one best. Who's America's best friend? Me or Matt?
Matt is America's best friend number 2.
In the younger
and Stephanie
category.
can't like wrap her head around that the way that we can't wrap our head around that. Like it's just like, come on, dude. Like not everybody's your good friend that is entitled to come to your wedding,
Agreed.
right?
I agree,
Like,
but she's trying to
it's
tell me
intimate,
who my good
though.
friends are and who they're not. That was the big
if
problem.
I
we
didn't
had.
meet them, if they didn't
Okay.
come to our
I
house,
was waiting for that to come up. I was waiting for that to come up.
Okay, because we
Because-
can have,
But a
okay,
good friend but a good friend
I was
doesn't-
waiting for that to come up, but I knew
friend
it would be
doesn't
early.
always
because there
have
was
to come
one
to your
couple
house, though.
that Rob met right before the wedding, but he didn't meet.
Nope, that's not them. Hiro, your hairdresser. So
Hiro,
Maxine, check this out,
Hiro.
right? She goes
Do
into
you
this
know
whole.
Hiro?
Your hairdresser that's been doing your hair for years and years and
Yes.
years.
Yes.
And years.
Who husband never met. So
Oh,
we go through this
really?
whole thing, and she's like, I can't have anybody in my wedding. I can't meet anyone at my wedding for the first time, right? So what I'm like,
like I remember
fine.
this.
I respected her wishes. That's fine, because most of the people that I would invite now that I'm close with now anyway are people she knows, so that's fine. So I get to my wedding, walking around, and there's this guy walking around. I'm like, who the hell is
With
that?
like
I'm
great
but-
like salt and pepper hair.
yeah, so I'm thinking like I at the thing, you know, there's so much going on that I didn't think much of it, but I noticed it. I'm like, who's that? Okay, must be one of her uncles from Puerto Rico that I don't know well. So I'm like,
Babe, that's an insult.
whatever the case
Hiro's
is,
my uncle.
babe.
He's not old enough to be my uncle, and he's gonna listen to this.
No, I'm not saying he looks old enough. The
Hiro,
only- a cousin
Hiro,
then, whatever.
Hiro.
Whatever.
Perdone,
I
Hiro,
thought
perdone.
he was from Puerto Rico and I didn't know him well. Okay, regardless
from
of family.
Spain.
I don't care. I'm telling you what I thought. Okay, so there's this guy walking around. And he's got a woman next to him. I'm like, okay, I don't know that person. I guess maybe it's one of the family members I met once and don't remember, you know? So time goes on. Weeks later, I'm like, so who was that guy? And she was like, oh, that's Hiro. I'm like, oh, funny. I never met him before the wedding. But that's okay because it's her side.
It's Hiro, though.
It doesn't matter.
It's
it doesn't
like-
matter. It doesn't matter.
That's Hiro.
Doesn't matter. If it's a rule, it can't be only when you to say it's not a rule. Oh, she's agreeing with me.
I
oh.
sure am. I agree with him 100%.
Maxine, Hiro?
It doesn't
Maxine.
matter. But I understand, but it doesn't
Doesn't matter who it is.
It doesn't
Your
matter.
rule was you don't want to meet
So-
someone. And here's the
so-
thing: I didn't even meet him. I didn't even meet the guy. Still
Exactly.
haven't met him.
But you
she
were
didn't
the
even
one-
walk up and say, "Hey, babe,
But
I know you
it's
haven't
not-
met him before the wedding,
But
but this
you
is my
laid
But
down
it's
hairdresser."
not
Laura.
like he's a social friend where he would come to the house and we would hang out. No, this is my
Oh, but
hairdresser
it's an intimate
for
wedding.
25
It's an intimate wedding. It should only be your
years.
closest friend.
He is one of my
You
closest
just
friends.
said he's not like a social friend.
He's not he isn't a friend that will come to my house, but he's one of my dude. The conversations that we've had while I've had foil on my hair, while I've looked like a crazy mess.
Okay, so in other words,
while I've cried on his chair.
Okay.
Yeah, Hiro is Hiro. No,
so
no,
in
no.
other
not what
words,
you said, though.
so in other words, people can't
not
meet
what
for
you
the
said.
first time, and it's
Hiro
only
is
intimate
Hiro.
unless it's someone that is not
Hiro
an intimate
is
close friend of
Hiro.
yours.
That's double standards.
Total double standard.
All right, Maxine, you can exit. You can go back to the basement and watch your shows.
So let us fast forward to the niece and nephew thing now. My feeling is that my wedding was my second wedding, so I wasn't going to fight. It's important to her. It's her first wedding.
He wasn't
And,
going to fight. We fought.
bro. You
Bro,
know.
we
Can we
Fought.
get to the niece and the nephew?
Yeah,
Can,
so this,
can I
no,
hear
'cause-
about
because
the fighting
we're gonna
after
bounce,
we
we're
get
gonna
off
bounce
of
back. So the niece and
the
nephew are
air?
running
Thank
through the
you.
same thing now, and I'm here to defend my boy Matt, my future nephew here. I'm here to defend him and say this is your first wedding. Don't go crazy, but you should invite who you want and keep it reasonable. But you shouldn't back down from something like that because the other person doesn't actually see it the same way you do. All right, people have different opinions.
Thankfully, Matt was aware that everybody that he thought should come to the wedding really should not come to the wedding when it's a small, intimate wedding.
He was made aware, or was he aware?
Once, like, Stephanie broke it down to him and explained to him what the deal is, as far as I'm concerned, he was extremely agreeable to their consensus. Because I showed you the guest list of our family alone.
All right.
It's very minimal. Very minimal.
That's family, but we're not talking about family here. We're talking about friends.
It's friends are probably less than the family guest list.
Okay, so then what was you brought this to me as a topic because they were having the same issues we did. It doesn't sound like they're having the same issues at all.
Well, no. We can talk about our issues. This isn't about their issues. This was just a topic.
Oh.
It was a topic about how some people view their intimate friends as intimate friends, and their acquaintances or someone that they were friends in high school. Yeah, they should come to my wedding 20 years later.
Right, but
they should come to my wedding 30 years later.
But you're deciding to make the judgment on your own of who is a close friend of mine and who's not.
And that you can't do.
Right, but Rob, but dude,
it's not for you.
In
to
your
make that
opinion.
decision.
In your opinion.
Sorry.
Listen, like and Hito was the exception. I will take that.
Okay.
But you have known everything about Hito.
It's not the point. It's not the point at all. I supposedly met Hito for the first time at your wedding.
Like a close friend, because you said that you haven't met. When you say you haven't met, that
it's just
she
because
could it be a
Rob,
conversation?
No, it's just because Rob is like, yeah, we were like cool 20 years ago, and we still
so they
talk
haven't-
every so often. But he's a good
and
friend
there's not
of
a
mine.
single person I said I wanted to invite that was that on that level. Not a single one. Not a single one. She can make those faces all she wants. The funny thing is, Maxine, my guest list didn't change from when we went
live.
to when we went to one wedding to now. Her guest list changed. Suddenly, people her guest list changed. Mine didn't.
Right,
Mine
because-
actually went down. I actually took people off the list.
So did I.
Okay.
But I reconnected with friends that I was friends with in high school.
Didn't you just say you can't be friends with people from high school 20
the
years
people
ago?
that you reconnected with in
They
high
were
school,
they
came to the wedding?
It's just one person, babe.
No,
It's just one person.
I don't care who you invite. You should invite who you want.
It's
your
just
wedding.
one person that I reconnected from high school that
But you just made a statement 30 seconds ago that you wouldn't invite someone like that to a wedding.
Or,
But-
no, I shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Right.
Sorry, you shouldn't.
So, and
I'm
that's
sorry.
my problem with this is
Do we have a stenographer while we're doing this that could go back?
Thinking that they should judge who my good friends or not good friends are. That's the problem I have. Not whether I should. Not that people. I agree. If we're having an intimate wedding, there are some people who should come, some people who wouldn't. But I don't want to be told who my good friends are.
I think where I had the problem was when I was like, okay, can we just like pick 10 friends that are like our closest friends? Rob couldn't do that.
So here's well, no. Here's what happened with our wedding.
Because
Okay.
if there's one person that's a good friend within a group, within a clan, then no, I can't pick that person.
But I have a group of friends that we hang out with all the time. How am I supposed to invite 2 of them but not 6 of them? That's impossible. They're all
All
people
the
who
time?
come to our house all the time. Out of the crew that we invited, let's say the one crew of people that you know the best that come around, they all. How am I supposed to not invite some of those people? And I wouldn't want to. They're all close friends. But I'm just saying, if I decided that person A and person B were closer with me, then how do I invite those 2 but not the other ones? These are people who all come to our house as a group all the time when we have parties, right? I mean, it's not like, you know.
Just because you only have 5 friends.
I have
close
9.
friends.
I have 9.
Yeah,
actually.
All right, so just because you have 9, then it's not fair for you to then put a number on him.
Yeah, but I don't think he values friendship the way I do.
No. That's you don't think. That's the key phrase
Right,
there.
think.
Like if you
don't
had 15
think, right.
good friends, then you would say, oh, well, you could invite 18 Robs.
Yeah,
Do
but
you know what I mean? I feel like you
there should
base
be
your
no
number on your number.
First of all, let's get into
But
let's talk about how this started out. This started out as we wanted a fairly small wedding. Then it got a little bigger. Then we decided we only wanted immediate family. Then we came back again with the bigger wedding because she said I had my heart set. And I'm like, that's fine. The only condition I'm putting on it,
Yeah,
you
because
can't tell me
I
who to
bought a
invite.
dress for a big wedding.
Right. Then you can't tell me who to invite. So that was it. And after that, we didn't have another fight. And that was fine. But up until that point, we went back and forth a lot. And she's telling me that I don't value friendship the same way she does, which is true. That might be true, but that doesn't mean that they're not good friends.
Right.
And I will tell you that there's at least 5 people I could think of without even digging deeper that would have been, that if they still lived in state.
There
or
were
lived
some
whatever.
people,
Yeah,
right. There were some
absolutely.
people that didn't come to the wedding that we were like, oh, frick. Like we should have invited them to the wedding
No,
because
that's not- yeah, okay.
later on they became
I will
closer.
name the two that
Right.
the one that we both
we
felt bad.
both, like,
Stan and
regret.
Cheryl. If you
Yes.
guys ever listen to this, right, they are part of the group I was just
That
mentioning.
killed us. That killed us.
Right, they were part of the group we just mentioned. From when we first planned our guest list till when we actually sent the things
Yeah.
out, we became closer with them. They came up to the house a few
And it
times,
killed
and we
me.
omitted to invite them. We just
killed me.
did it, and then we
Well,
were like,
because-
how do we do this?
Well,
Right.
because when we first planned the wedding, we weren't in that circle so much, and then when we replanned the wedding, they should have been on that.
They should have been on the guest list. So Stan and
1,000%.
Cheryl, although
Stan
we've
and
never
Cheryl,
said this to you, we're
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Like, you were definitely, you should have been at the wedding.
Right.
Hands down.
Without
like,
a doubt, and
we were
both agreed
very,
on that.
very
we both were like, "Oh my god,
upset over
how
that.
do we not invite them?" You know.
Right.
So, but there are 5 people I can talk of off the top of my head that are good friends of mine for many years. I still talk to all the time. They live out of state, and I could have invited them, and it would not have been a drop off from the friends I hang out with. But they don't live
There
in
was
state
people
anymore.
that
Of
like
course.
I could have invited
Of
too.
course,
That because I tried to keep it intimate. Like, there was some work friends that should have
Yeah.
hands down been there.
Same with me. My racquetball
Teresa,
friends,
Amy,
like, yeah.
Christina, Diane. They should have totally been there, but because we were trying to keep it intimate, as small as we could, because COVID was still a concern. And we were just trying to keep it as safe and as intimate as possible. And it's not that these people weren't intimate friends. It's just that, I don't know.
You don't see them as much. It's the same with me.
Right.
It's the same with me.
It's
And then there's my
I
racquetball
feel terrible
crew.
about that.
Then there's my racquetball crew,
Right.
where I hang out with all of them all the time. I'm definitely closer with a few of them, but I can invite some and not others. So I decided, since they were fairly new to me, and
Yeah, see, but
I
that's the
didn't
thing
invite
with
any of them,
that.
right.
That's the difference between him and I, is that I can invite some people from a group and not invite the other. Hands down.
I won't
Hands
do that.
down.
I won't
Right.
do that. It's not fair.
Rob won't
yeah.
do that. Like, if like somebody's a part of that clan, they all have to come, and that's fine.
Or not come and
Just
right.
like disinvite the entire group.
Right, but from the racquetball people, but from the racquetball crew, there's only
What happens if you're not close friends with the entire group? You may hang with the entire group,
Well,
but
that- and that's-
may not be close with everyone in that group.
Right.
agreed, and that's the distinction I made. Is up now again. Now there's a couple of them that I'm closer with, and if we had the wedding to do again, there's a couple we would invite. But at
Right.
the time when we were planning this, they all on the same level. I was closer with some of them
James,
because
Linda.
right. But at the time we were going through the guest list, all of them was. I was closer with some because I talked to them more, but none of them were friends I hung out with outside the circle. So I just said they're all part of the
They
group.
came to our house.
I understand that. There's a whole bunch of them that came to our house. And,
Right. And
you wanted
I
to
would
keep
have
it
been
small.
okay with them. Like, okay, James, Linda,
I'm going to start
who
going
else?
through Ronnie,
Ronnie,
Lloyd, right?
Lloyd, absolutely. And like the other female,
Vicky,
Vicky.
Stu. I mean, there's a bunch of Gene. There's a bunch of people I'm friends with that we talk to regularly, right? So this is what I'm saying though. Is so I figured at that point that crew was all thing. I'm gonna leave it out because we were trying to keep it small, and I wanted to respect that. Because if Maxine, I will tell you that if I got into extended friends and other,
We would have had a fucking Greek wedding with 400 people.
I know, but there's also family members I didn't invite because they were at my first wedding and I didn't want to go through that again. So there's 10, 12 family members I didn't invite that are fairly close family. I could have gone another 50 people easily without even.
But they're not fairly close because I met them.
Exactly. See, here we go. So you're going to tell me who in my family is not fairly close? I can't accept that. There's family members that I could have invited that are very close. They're very close. I
never
don't
met
see
them.
as, yes,
Why do you feel
met
that you
them.
have? But even
have
if you
met
didn't
them.
meet them, why do you feel?
No. In 4 years, if I don't meet somebody in 4
2 of
years,
those years
it's
were
not like
COVID.
we were dating for 3 months and then we got married.
But
Great.
in 4 years,
4 years,
you had to meet everyone in
Yes.
his family.
Yes.
Physically meet them.
You have,
Yeah.
you
I
have,
disagree
you have
with
met
that.
they're
them.
not close enough.
I
You have
disagree.
met them.
That's your opinion.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's your opinion.
They're not
Marissa.
close enough.
That's your for you. For you, not
Rob,
everyone. Not
Rob
everyone
met
is
all of
gonna-
my family members that went to the wedding.
Yeah,
because they are close enough
That-
for them to be included in my intimate personal life. Like, that's just how I roll. That's just how I
Everyone
roll.
doesn't have to walk through your front door.
It doesn't have to be your
close.
way. It doesn't have to be the way you think and the way you expect it
Doesn't.
to be.
Okay, well, it was my wedding.
So my
See,
sister,
there you go.
my
They're gonna
sister
fall
has
back on
never.
that.
So my sister has never. Maybe she did when I christened Joshua, who's going to be 18 in June. She's never come to my house. It doesn't mean me and her are not close. She never has. For whatever the reasons are, that there are reasons, but she's never come to my house. It does not mean that we're not close. Joshua was with her over the summertime. Doesn't mean that we're not close because she never stepped foot in my house. Hold on. I'll give you another example. Hold on.
How often do you see her though?
I don't see her that often. I mean, she lives in Long Island. I mean, I don't.
You see her enough. I have heard about the sister in Long Island.
I see her more now that my dad is, just going through what he's going through. But I could not see my sister for 2 years easy, but I speak with her.
Right. But she's an intimate part of your life. She's an intimate part of your life.
Right, but that's why I said to you, does it have to be a physical viewing of this intimate person?
I don't know.
Because you said in 4 years, I have never seen them.
If I didn't meet them, okay, well then how
meet them
intimate?
How? Are you talking about over the phone?
How intimate are they that you're
Meaning over the
They're
phone?
intimate enough that I'm 52 years old. They've been a big part of my life, my entire life.
For the last 4 years, they haven't met your future wife.
They have. For the third time, you met them. We went to a party in Brooklyn for my cousin's thing. You met them all there. It doesn't matter. Now it's only one time she met them. That's the criteria. Before it was zero times.
So there needs to be a criteria on it.
No, the criteria bounces around depending on whatever wins her side of the argument.
But the thing is that if you would have asked me to name the people that I met and who was your family, I have no freaking idea.
Okay, and
everybody that was there from my
recently,
side.
I had the same problem naming you. I still can't name half your.
Hold on, I'm going to take me. Hold on, I'm going to take me.
I still ask you all the time who's related how and whose mother is this.
Hold on, I'm going to take.
It doesn't matter that you haven't met them though.
Oh,
but hold on, I feel like I'm going to take me as a perfect example. I feel the only reason that Rob sure, he met me when we were at Linden. But I feel the only reason that me and him have truly met several times is because I've been here several times. And that's also because of the job. If you think about it, I feel like I've been here maybe 3 times and it had nothing to do with the job.
No. Because you were here for friend cookouts.
Right. But how many? I said
you
3
weren't here
3 times.
because of the fact that you were staying over and you've cleaned our bedroom and now our basement. That's another topic. But
that is another topic.
Yeah, but you're not here because of that. Rob knew about you before he met you, and then he met you, and then you were here for our friend cookout, and you listen, you can't compare yourself to that other side. You can't. I have
help you, Rob.
9 friends.
I
have 9 friends that went to my wedding that are intimate friends, and that was it.
And then there's, they were all sitting there trying to figure out now, am I one of the 9? Because
yes.
there were more than 9 of her friends there.
No.
Okay.
Well, no. Then I had, and then I had maybe 2 other friends that weren't in my inner circle that are in my life every day. But they have been here. They have met Rob. They've been here. I've been to their wedding. Listen, I just hold a different standard for friendships that come to my intimate wedding. If I was
Apparently you hold a different standard to family too.
If I was
telling me who in my family is not.
If
close.
I was having a no holds barred wedding, yeah. We could have 500 people.
But how
easily.
can you tell him what family member he can invite? I don't think that's fair.
Well, she didn't tell me. No, to be fair, she never said you can't invite these people. I decided not to.
I was
because
just
I'd been married
really
before, right? I don't know. Your rule seems to bounce around depending on the certain situation. So.
Listen,
I guess she's a woman.
I caved in.
Yes,
I caved into it, and I'm like, you can invite whoever you want to invite.
I didn't invite anybody. I didn't invite anybody different than the first time.
Because you realized that the other people were just not.
No, I didn't realize anything. I realized how much money it was going to cost me, and a bunch of people who had already been there, and I didn't want them to spend money again. So that's what I realized. But if it was my first wedding, then we probably would have ended up not getting married because we would have.
This was my first wedding, and I still kept it very small.
No, I'm not talking about keeping it small. I'm saying it was my first wedding, and there were some people that should have been there who were at my first wedding. I didn't feel the need to invite them for the second, but if it was my first wedding, there's a lot more people that would have been invited. We might not have made it to the wedding for real. So
maybe we should have Eddie and Jen on this.
Maybe we should.
Because Eddie's not inviting.
Listen, it doesn't. At the end of the day, I don't care who does what they do. I do what I do, and it doesn't matter what they do. They can offer their opinion, but it's not going to change my mind.
This is our first fight. This is our first.
It's not going to
debate
change my mind. It's not going to change my mind
on a
regardless of what they do.
podcast.
Because I feel the way I do about my friends and my family, and the other person can have a different opinion, and my own wife can have a different opinion. It's not going to change mine.
Correct. Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, what? So I thought you brought this subject to me because you wanted us to kind of comment on the Matt and Stephanie thing. I guess not.
Because Stephanie had to bring to Matt's attention, like, dude, like, those are not your friends. Like, just because you went to high school with them, just because you had moments with them, doesn't make them your friends that they can come to your wedding. Like, there's a difference between you were friends,
it's not for
and
you.
you're coming to my wedding.
It's not for you to decide who I want to invite to my wedding, whether I'm the male or the female. That I invite whoever
I think
would
it
like
is
to invite.
when the
because
purpose
it's for the female and it's a woman's
when the
wedding,
purpose
so
is to have an intimate wedding.
Then guess what? Then you know what? So going forward, then you know what? When a man gets married to a woman, damn it, just have the women bring all her people, all her friends, all her family.
Intimate friends,
But
intimate.
who are you to decide who's intimate to me? Period. You just don't get that
Intimate
decision.
is when they
You don't
have
get
been
that
in
decision. You
our
don't have that
life
right.
for the last 4 years of our dating.
You don't have that right.
But that
you don't have that right
but
to
I don't.
determine. You don't. Sorry.
But it's not even that. Well, I agree completely. It's not the right. But there are people who
she's
have
giving
been.
me the look.
There are
Okay,
people
I'll
who
be
have
good.
been here. The 3 summers we've had the house. There are people who have been here a couple of times that are nowhere near the level of friends that she's never met. I have some friends I've been friends with for 35 years, and it's not just because I have 40 other friends I went to high school with that I still talk to. That's not that. I'm talking about people who have been my good friends. They have been in my life for 35 years. They're very good friends. They just live out of state. I don't see them that much. I still talk to them, and it's no one can tell me they're not good friends.
I would have been okay with like Keith coming from like Arizona. Hi, Keith.
Well, that's funny. That's funny.
I met
Keith,
him.
if you're listening, Keith swore he's never listened to a podcast, so he probably doesn't listen to this. But Keith, I became closer with Keith after the
Right.
wedding, which is funny. Right?
I met him. Great guy. Love him. He could have totally come to our wedding.
So back to the Matt Stephanie thing for 1 second. You said Stephanie made him realize that blah, blah, blah about my wedding. This is Matt's wedding too, and it's their first and hopefully, knock on wood,
Right.
only wedding. So he should be able to...
Thankfully, no. But once, so like Stephanie said, once she like told him how expensive weddings are,
It's a big story. That's a big difference. That's a big difference.
Matt was
If you
like,
don't-
oh, okay. We'll just keep very intimate, very close people, keep it very small and simple because
Do you guys have a number on an intimate wedding? Is there
Listen,
a number on what intimate
I
means?
wanted immediate family.
What is
and
intimate? What is the intimate
family?
number?
Immediate family. And you know what? Immediate family to me is your siblings and their children and your parents.
Got it.
That's immediate family, right?
Got it.
And then like your closest friends, like you're like homies, right?
Yeah.
How many homies do I have? Right? I'm not asking you for a number,
so
but
I'm wrong because I
but
have
like-
more homies than she does.
Rob has 100 homies.
I don't have
They're
100
not
homies, or there would have been
homies.
100 homies at my wedding.
They're not homies.
No. See, in your opinion, they're not homies. Here we go again.
Is there a number on how many homies?
See, we should have
Is
this
there
on
a
video
number
so they could see your face.
Is there a number on how many
I
homies?
just feel like your intimate friends are your intimate friends, and you should, like I put a lot of value and a lot of importance into my friendships. Like I truly
why
do.
Why would you say I don't?
I just put a lot of value and importance into my friendships, and
So she ignores the question.
well, because
all right,
I don't
okay,
want to call people
enough,
out, because I don't want to call people out, and I don't want to call the situations out.
I don't want to hear it because
I'm not
now
here
you're going to
for
get
this.
into. Now you're going to tell me who I shouldn't be friends with because of political
I'm not
beliefs
saying
or
that.
whatever.
No,
else.
that has nothing to do with
I don't
it.
know. Then I
Politics-
have most of my friends that are close friends are like
Politics have
brothers or
nothing to do with
sisters
it.
to me, right? Are like brothers or sisters to me. It doesn't matter whether you think that they're like brothers or you don't think that they would be. Most of them are. That's just the way it is.
I don't know.
Okay.
We
You
just-
don't have to know. I'm telling you.
We
and
just
it's
have
my-
a different opinion on
Correct.
intimate homies versus.
And why are we using
They're
the word
my
homies?
friends.
I mean, Jonas Black came here for 2 weeks. Now we're calling our friends homies. I mean,
Jonas Black used that name?
all he does is talk about my homies this, and he's not like a homie.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Okay,
You've
so
in 5 years, you've never used the word homie in that situation once. Never once until now.
Oh, okay.
I gotta say, I kind of agree. I've never heard you use homies.
Okay.
In that
then
context,
I'm just
ever.
like talking about like, I don't know. And I just hold a different set of values because
Okay.
I'll be honest,
Let's make
like
this interesting.
I don't do people.
So let's make this interesting then.
I don't
why,
do people.
Why are your set of values
don't do
better
people.
than mine? Go
Right,
ahead.
Maxine?
You don't. I agree. 100%.
I don't do
You
people.
don't.
Like,
You don't.
I don't do people. So
But
like
just
if
because you
you're
don't
in my
doesn't mean
life,
that he doesn't.
right. And that is something that I had to come to terms with, right? That like Rob is America's best friend. Yeah,
See, but that's
listen,
such a fucking
And
backhanded compliment.
I
It's
love
bullshit.
that. No,
No, you
and that's
don't
a
love
great-
that
no, no,
because
no.
you say it in a
And
condescending
that's
way.
a great. No. Listen.
You've never once said, you know, babe, I
It's
admire the.
condescending.
You're
No.
gonna interrupt me now.
It like works against me when it comes to our wedding planning. Other than that, I think it's a great.
You have
attribute of
never
yours.
once come to me and said, I think it's admirable that you have so many friends. You do nothing but say it in a condescending way. Oh,
Because
everybody
of the
loves you.
fact
You're
that I
American.
don't think that you really value people the way
Right,
they
exactly.
should.
Here we go. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Like everybody's your friend.
That's not. No, everybody's not my friend. No, you think because I don't say this person's an asshole and you need to be out of my life that I consider them a close friend. I can balance that in between. My close friends are my close friends. You saw my close friends at our wedding, and then there's a bunch of other friends that are very close friends of mine that didn't get the invite because they're not in town anymore, and I don't see them as much. But I just because I can balance a friendship versus an acquaintance versus someone I'm not going to say get the hell out of my life because I don't like you doesn't mean that I don't value friendships.
And it's probably because I just don't tolerate people. And that, listen,
You don't.
and that's a personal issue with me. And, like, I truly think this is how we balance each other out, babe, is that I don't tolerate people. You were so gracious about a lot of issues and a lot of people, and that's how we balance each other out. Like, I need somebody like you, because if I was married to somebody like me, oh my God,
The two, you'd be a hermits living
we
by
would be
yourself. with no-
hermits. No, really, like we would
would be.
truly be hermits.
You
Like
would be.
I need somebody to have who Rob is to kind of just balance me out, because if it was up
Well,
to
I
me,
feel like since you've been with Rob, also, you've actually now have kind
Right?
of had his
Yes.
friends that now
yes,
you consider your friends.
yes,
You've been able to go out
yes,
more.
because I don't.
It's not
listen,
just work,
I don't
home
do
dogs,
people.
work, home dogs.
Right.
Where before, I feel like you're in a circle.
Work,
with
home,
so-
dogs. Work,
But that's
home,
funny
dogs.
because
Small.
she's so outgoing and can talk to anybody, and that's the funny thing.
She can, but
She thinks I'm such a friendly, outgoing
It's
person, and
because-
I
no.
can't talk to people half the time.
It's because when I'm in a social environment, I just adapt to that environment. Like I know how to socially or environmentally adapt.
See,
If
you
it
are
was
way
up to
better at
me,
that than I am.
she would
I don't want to
work,
be.
home, and that's it.
She's much better at that than
think
I am.
She's come
I
a long way since she's been with you. That she's like truly outgoing. That she's truly outgoing. I don't feel that.
really because
I don't think Marissa was as outgoing as she has been since she's been with you.
And that's fair because obviously I didn't know her before I met her. That makes perfect sense. But
I
what
did.
I'm saying is she is better at socializing than I am. Even though she hates people and she doesn't
Right,
want- she's better
because
at socializing. I
know
can't
how
do
to
small talk
socially
anymore.
adapt to my environment, and and I know when I have to be social, and I'm not that person that's not capable of being social. I choose not to because people just it's like the human race is just so
Hard work.
fucked up.
See,
And
but
when
that's
you're in the animal world the way I am, people are really fucked up.
No, I agree. Most people are really screwed up, but I have come to value the ones that I don't. That I don't look at the negative. I'm not looking at the bad side and saying, well, people are screwed, so I'm going to hold it against the rest of them. I do the opposite. I value the ones that are not assholes, and the ones who are assholes, I keep it at arm's distance, and I won't do it. Plus, I've also been in business for many years. I have to be able to have a disagreement with someone, not respect them, and still be able to keep them in my life. And maybe that's translated into my personal life to some degree, but not in my close friendships. Not my close friendships like that. But I've learned that you don't have to love someone, be with someone as a good friend to be able to have them in your life on some level, whether it's a necessary level for work or it's a social situation where they're part of a group of people, whatever. But
and I genuinely have to love you to have you in my inner circle.
Right.
Because if I don't like genuinely love you and enjoy your company and enjoy everything about you, I seriously cannot have you in my inner circle. I just can't.
That's fair.
I can't. It's like life is too short to tolerate. I'm not tolerating people at this point in my life. I'm enjoying you. I'm looking forward to you. And there's a very small amount of people that I feel that way about.
All right. I love you, babe.
All right.
Listen, you balance me out
I'm
because
just saying,
I
love
would
you.
have been
I'm
a hermit.
I'm ending it on a good
You would
note,
have
so
been.
because we went at it a little.
Love you
Wanna
to
know I
pieces.
love you.
I love you to pieces.
I love you
All
both
right,
to
here's
pieces.
here's a fun one. You guys will agree on this one.
Okay.
Why do men wear underwear until they're about to fall off? It's like holes. They will not throw the underwear out. I can just
Jesus.
tell you that there's no reason to throw them out if they still fit. They're comfortable. I'd rather be comfortable than stylish, so to speak.
Oh boy, this is a tough one for me. I don't even want to comment.
Go ahead,
Why not?
comment.
Just make it a general comment. Doesn't have to
Because
be about
I
anyone.
throw his shit out when it's really fucked up. Like there is no reason how I can how I can like put them up and see through them, and then there's 3 holes. Because God forbid he gets into an accident.
like
He goes
his
to the
it's like your
hospital.
mother. God
He
forbid
goes
you
to the
get that.
hospital, right? I show up as his wife. That's a reflection on me.
No, it's not, because you as my wife wouldn't necessarily know what I'm wearing. The mother, I could see the mother being upset because she lets the kid go out
As a
like
wife,
that.
like the wife does the laundry for the most part, and you do laundry just as much as I do. So I'm not saying that, but yeah, when I do laundry and I see underwear that I would not be proud of if God forbid he gets into an accident, it needs to go. It needs to freaking go.
And I've always laughed at that. Like your mother tells you,
Yes.
what happens if you get into it? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're in an accident bad enough that they have to cut your clothes
They're not-
off, do you
they
think
don't look-
they
they don't
care?
care.
Do you
They
think
don't.
they care?
They do not.
That's also the least of your
cutting-
problems if you're that
I
screwed
know.
up. Right.
Cutting it
It's a
off.
cliche.
It's
It's,
a
a
cliche,
freaking.
right.
It's craziness, but at the same time, like you ain't walking around with see-through boxers with 3 holes in them.
Well,
You're just not.
Well, the other girls that look at it don't seem to mind. I mean, come on, seriously.
I
Who's
will
going to see
cut
it?
you.
I know.
I
will cut you.
But who's
I
going to
will
see
cut you.
it? Who's seeing it? Nobody's
That's
seeing
not the
it.
point. It's just that you shouldn't be walking around like that, baby.
Well, I
boy.
agree. It
This
probably
is-
shouldn't, but they're comfortable, and it's a man
Who
thing.
really cares?
But it's a man thing. That's
No, it's really
a lot
not,
of men do
because
that.
that's
right?
why I was sitting here thinking to myself, maybe this is not a discussion I should chime in because
Do you
Until
walk
they fall
around with
off
like
too?
holy clear
Well,
through?
I mean, I guess
what
this is-
shouldn't be clear
is
through
this-
underwears.
Is this PG or is this R rated?
This
You can
is
go
this is
R-rated.
whatever you want to do.
We've already let
I
the
have
F
to
word
tell you,
out.
so maybe this is TMI. So I buy underwears once a year. If I have to get it in
That's
the middle
often.
of the year, I will. But I only go one
fine.
place to get my underwears. And when I go, like, I'm getting a minimum of a dozen, right, of underwears. And I love Made in Form, love the boys' shorts. The one thing about Made in Form is too much info. They have like this cute little, like the padding in the middle of, that area. And I have to say, I've been guilty, that sometimes it's worn. And, there's times that I wash my underwears by hand. So if I'm washing my underwears, it's my hands and I'm literally washing, not a machine. So sometimes the middle of it can be worn. And yeah, I'll wear it. Sometimes it starts peeling off and then I'm like, okay, I'll just wear it at nighttime. So like if I take a shower at night, I'll put those underwears on. Maybe not wear it in the daytime because of that whole cliche thing. But there's nothing really wrong with the underwears. What's wrong with a little hole or two? Who cares?
I can't believe I was certain I was going to go against the both of you on this one.
Oh,
Listen,
So you buy underwear once a year, and that happens. I've had underwear since I met her. Are you
so
kidding
it
me?
depends.
I
So-
bought him
so
a whole
what I
stock of
noticed-
underwear like 3 freaking years ago.
So what I-
and he's just starting to use that stock because the other stock is literally like paper thin.
So no,
and
what
I
I
throw
know,
them out.
So what I
throw them
notice
out.
is you have to think about when you're washing your underwears by hand.
Scoobs.
When you're washing your underwears by hand, the friction of rubbing it versus
Why are you
putting
washing your
it in the
underwears
machine.
by hand?
It's a culture thing too. We could talk about that.
Yeah,
How
do
many
it. What the hell?
women next time washes underwears by hand?
What
It's a
women?
culture
I'm
thing.
sorry. I didn't hear what you said. What women?
A culture thing,
Oh,
like
culture,
women
okay.
that wash their underwears.
yeah.
Like back in the
Let's go.
days, women used. That's how I know about it. The West Indians.
No, yeah. I mean, we used to wash our underwear by hand, but that was when we didn't have a washer and dryer in our home. Because I grew up without a washer and dryer in our home, where we had to go to a public laundromat. So
Yeah.
my mother was like, I'm not washing crusty underwear. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
Right? So she would be like, when you shower, you wash your underwear and you
Right.
hang it to dry.
Right.
Now that I have a washer dryer,
So
I'm washing my underwear by hand.
So when I say if I'm staying at your house, which I am tonight, when I take a shower, I do wash my underwears by hand. If I'm home with my washer and dryer, you're right, I don't do it. So it's a weird. I
So
can't
you put
explain
your
it.
wet underwear in your bag?
I put it in a Ziploc bag.
Oh God!
I
Come
put
on,
it.
girl.
I swear. I put
that's
it.
just
I
too
do.
much.
I do. I don't know what to tell. I don't know why.
So you
I
do that on
it.
vacation too?
This is
I
great.
do. But on vacation it's
I
easier
don't.
because I just hang it up to dry when I'm on vacation. I don't know what it is.
I don't.
If I'm home, I will not do it. But anyway, the whole point was, will I let mine get tattered? I do, just like my nightgowns are tattered. Who cares?
But you said you only wear the tatters at night at home. I say I'll wear it all
when it
day.
gets
I don't give a shit.
when it gets really bad, I won't
like,
go out.
When he went for
with
his
the crotch
surgery,
area,
I almost wanted to ask him, what underwears do you have on? Because you have to, it's like,
I know, I hear you. I'm not going to defend it. I'm just explaining why. I mean, they're comfortable. You know, you get used to them. They're
I
comfortable.
don't even
and
know
yeah.
if they're comfortable for me. It's underwear's underwear. Whatever comes up out of the drawer, whatever my hand pick, I just put it on.
All right, we're at 42 minutes. You want to throw one more in there?
sure.
Sure, let's go. All right, let's look through the list of topics. You're listening to Gender Clash, by the way. We thank Maxine for joining us. You can check us out on all the podcast sites and a lot of the music apps as well. All right, let's see what we got here. Now we'll save that one. Here's a good one. This is good. 2 women in the room. All right. We've talked about this one a number of times. Women won't approach a sensitive subject with their friends. They just let it sit. But men will get it out of the way and be done with it and move on. Now, you two, I have to
disagree
say,
with that.
you two are very good about getting stuff off your chest. You're like guys, but most of the time, women will not confront their friends. They just let it go, and then they just hold grudges and sit back and have resentment. Whereas guys, they insult the hell out of each other and then they're fine the next day.
That's not a topic for me and you, is it, Maritza?
No, it's her and I in general. You're a guest, so you can take whichever side you want. What's your thoughts on that, Maxine? Tell us.
I feel if I have something to say, I'm just going to say it. Period.
You were the only friend that I can be open and honest with and not hold back. And the same goes for you. Like, I just gave you a freaking birthday gift. You're like, I don't want this. Take it back.
I know.
Yes, that did happen. I was here for it.
Tell everybody on podcast.
No,
That
but
is true.
really,
12
like
that is
people
true.
listening.
those are the kind of friends that we are. Like, we can say whatever we want to each other.
But I feel it's also being honest too, right? Like, why am I gonna? Oh, it's so sweet. Oh, thank you, and I'm gonna take it home
It's
and
polite.
that's not true friendship, though. I feel like when you have a true friend, you should be able to be honest with your friend.
I agree, and I am that type of friend, but you're probably the only friend that I can have that friendship with.
I mean, I put it back in your pocketbook. You were so happy. It's
Right,
almost
I was like,
you wanted me
okay,
to say no.
you don't want this? Like, I was on the fence whether I should give it to you, but I wasn't sure if you liked it, and I was like, all right, let me just add it because it was part of the set.
Meanwhile,
Right.
her other 8 friends are out there like, you mean she's holding back with me? That is funny because you're very forward.
Because like,
But her other 8 friends know the relationship that her and I had, and
it is like
it
hardcore.
It was hardcore.
So
It was very hardcore.
So just like a little background, me and Maxine met at work, and she was the manager of my department. She was the administrative manager of my department, and I was the nurse in that department. And I would call her for administrative issues, and we would literally go to blows. Like, we would literally go to blows where, like, other nurses were very uncomfortable by our
You
relationship.
guys actually physically fought?
No.
all right.
But, you know, like, we never laid hands on each other, but in a professional work environment, like,
It was tense.
It
You
was
could tell.
tense, and
You
it
could
was
tell.
and it was like sometimes like inappropriate. Sometimes
Many times,
inappropriate.
many.
Yes. So, but we just developed this rapport where we're like, all right, at work, I can't stand your sight, but you want to go out for drinks later?
Exactly.
And we would go out for drinks and just have a great time. And then as like the years went on, like we just like, you know, like we just got to the point where I would call you and it was work related and we would fight. But then we never took it personal. Like we were just like, all right, I'll see her for drinks after work and everything is good.
But that's not typical of women.
Right. So our relationship is very unique where we started out very like it was a tumultuous relationship. Like it was very, very like it just wasn't a friendship. It was a work relationship that we over the years developed into a very personal relationship. And I'll be honest, after I left that building, I never thought we would be the friends that we are today.
I have to tell you, leaving the building, I feel that we became even closer.
Right? But like, how did that happen? Like, I don't even know where or how that happened.
I don't know.
Like, how?
I don't know. I feel that just us being at when we work together, just us being honest with each other too.
Like, you went to
'Cause
my
we still
other
had a
house.
friendship.
We
Yeah.
did.
We still had a friendship, and I feel like there was honesty, and you know, obviously, one
It was
thing
brutal. It was transparency. It was brutal
Right, and
honesty that
you
I
know,
enjoy.
People that know you obviously know there is no filter. You say it like how it is. If you don't like it, oh well. With me, I'm going to come back and I will challenge you. I'm not afraid to challenge you, and oh well. And
Just like you
sometimes
did
we
today.
agree to disagree.
Like,
Sometimes we don't come to
We're
any
gonna
conclusion.
have a talk
but-
after this because you're supposed to be on my side and you agreed with Rob. But
No, but I am on your side. I just said what I said. Didn't you hear what I said? I said
no,
that with.
previous topics you agreed with him.
Well, we could talk after. We have all night. It's my birthday.
Talk right here, man. It's the podcast. That's
I mean,
what
it is a podcast. Why we got to talk off camera?
No,
We could talk
but
on
I'm
camera.
just saying is that we like have the type of relationship where you will look at him and be like, you're absolutely wrong. You're absolutely out of line. You're
And I
inappropriate.
feel like sometimes we
And
wouldn't
I don't
even
take that personal.
And we wouldn't even come to like, sometimes I feel like I would leave your office.
without a resolution. And I'd be like,
This bitch.
this bitch.
This
Yeah.
bitch.
So most women relationships, they hold things in and they don't go. I'm going way off. The two of you are going to start hugging soon. So,
I know.
it's a good thing they're 6 feet apart. So,
Because this biatch comes to my house and says, I'm going to go to the basement and hang out for 3 hours.
And I did. I walked in.
And I'll be back.
Well, I sat down
Well,
and
she
I
opened
talked
her
for 20
gifts.
minutes.
Yeah, she opened
Yeah.
her gifts.
I
She
sat
opened
for
her
20
gifts.
minutes and I
Right.
said, can I go to the basement and
Right.
finish watching my show?
So the typical woman would hold this back and not let it out, and then they probably go talk to other friends and
No,
whatever
and you know what? And I have to
talk
say
bad
that.
about the woman. So.
I have to say that I also have those friendships, but I think I talked to you about my struggles with those friendships. And I'm like,
That's what I was getting at. Is you go
Yes.
talk to other people about it instead of that. There you go. Great distinction.
Yes.
Because instead of talking directly to the person and saying, "Here's my problem with you," you go talk to your husband. You go talk to another friend. You go,
because like they can't handle my brutalness. Like they can't handle me coming to them and saying, yo, like you're wrong, or this is how I feel, or dude, like you're annoying me. So my husband, unfortunately, has to be the brunt of all of, and I didn't have that before, right? Like I would just internalize it or just separate myself or whatever. But now that I have Rob, that I can like talk it out, and he literally is my voice of reason for everything. For everything in my life, Rob is my voice of reason. He will tell me you're being completely ridiculous. Because no one's told me that before.
But I will also tell you when person is taking advantage of you and you shouldn't take that
Right.
shit. Right. So I don't
Right.
I don't just tell her what she wants to hear.
But,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
But I feel that sometimes you have to also think about the friends that you have. That sometimes you do have friends that are sensitive and that you do have to be careful of how you approach them too, right? So you may have, 20 friends, 15 friends, but we're all different individual. Some of us have that strong backbone that you could just say whatever it is, off the top of your head. Some friends you have to be a little bit more
You have to
careful.
tiptoe around them.
course.
Yeah,
You
and
have to-
be
yeah.
more sensitive in how you deliver whatever message it is. And it just could just be because that's just their DNA and they're just makeup.
Yeah.
You know, not any fault to them. That's just,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It was just like my one
And
good
sometimes
friend.
you have to be careful because you can ruin a relationship.
Absolutely.
On how you could ruin years of a relationship on just your approach to
And
a
I
friend
have
if you're
learned how not to do
careful.
that. And I have been self-aware because I can be really like harsh. And you know, and it's not appropriate, and I have learned how to scale back on that. But I feel like my true friends have learned to understand me and know that I'm not coming from a harsh place either. Like if I say something is, you know, like don't take it for like face value. Like this is just me saying something without a filter. And I don't mean it that way because at the end of the day, I will go for bat for you.
Right.
And I will be there for you when nobody else is there for you.
Yeah, I've had to learn that too, and I still struggle with it sometimes. Is she'll say things, and it took me a long time to realize he doesn't mean it personally, but I still struggle at times, and I will take it personally. I just can't help it at times.
Right.
It just
Right.
Human
just
nature.
the way it is. But the thing is there's using me as a sounding board instead of talking to your friend is the big subject here. Like a guy, if most of the time, and of course, like you said, guy most times, and again, this is we generalize here because I can't speak for everybody, but a guy most times, if he has a problem with the guy, is gonna either he'll talk to amongst friends or he'll go directly to the guy separately. They'll have it out and then they're having beers together. And again, generally women don't do that. Generally, they do what she did, and she's direct. And the fact that her friends can be sensitive and can't handle that is more indicative of the fact that women do that in general. They will go talk about the person to somebody else rather than solve the issue.
Is it that because I don't know, sometimes I feel like when you're younger, and I'm just making a general statement as far as, you know, women, that it gets a little catty. So I'm going to call you to talk about what so and so did, and then we're going to talk, and then it becomes really messy. But I feel as you get older,
You don't have time for that.
you don't have time for that. As you get older, I feel the younger you are, then yeah, and you know, you're calling this friend and then that friend, and before you know it, you didn't call 10 friends about this one friend. Then it gets back to the one friend that you know, and now this one friend want to fight
Confused
you.
just listening to that, right? Yeah, that's true.
But I
Yeah.
feel that as you get older, you start to scale away, and you do look at the friendships that you have, who's truly important in your life, and it's just different. I feel as you get older,
Absolutely.
Yeah, less of a
you
tolerance.
know,
for
the
bull
younger
crap.
you
agree.
are,
I
you're-
feel like the more mature you get, the more less needy you get with the friendships, and then you like start to just chomp them down. Like, yeah, you know what? She is not a friend, and I don't need her in my life. And I'm going to keep the true core friends that really serve a purpose in my life. And like, if you don't serve a positive purpose in my life, you don't have a place in my life. And that is where I'm at right now, where you got to serve a positive purpose in my life.
but you only find that out as you get older. You don't see that
1,000%.
in your 20s, your 30s.
No.
I want to say somewhere around your 40s is when you really start to pay attention to that.
Right. And then like the people that you think were your good friends, they start to show their true colors and you're like, what? Like, and you're like blindsided by some of that stuff. You're like, yo, like really? Like, what are you doing? But you know what? You were mature enough to move on and just go on your way. Bye.
And let it go.
Yeah. Like, but you know, it's like you just, you know, and there were people that take longer to get to that point. Like I got to that point like in my early 40s where I was like, listen, if you can't serve a positive thing in my life, or like if you show me that you're shady, you need to go.
So I feel with you'll give.
I don't tolerate shadiness.
No, you don't. But you'll.
I'll give people a
You'll
chance.
let your friends hang themselves.
Yes.
You'll
I
give
do.
100%.
Right.
But the moment that I notice,
Done.
you're done.
They hang themselves. Right. And I'm like, done. And I don't even like look back. I'm like, done. I'm too old for that.
All right. It was a very interesting topic. Did good. You guys hugged it out. Agreed about each other being.
She's
a
still
certain
my
way?
girl.
She's still your girl. Oh no,
Will
you guys
always
didn't
be.
even.
Yeah, Maxine's
gotta
gonna
be
be
your girl,
that.
yeah.
That like one
The
solid.
thorn in her like. ass.
She's like solid, like
I'm not
because
going
of what
anywhere. I'm
we've
like
been
the
through.
leash, you know,
Of course, you're not going anywhere. You paying part of the mortgage here. Why
Yes,
would
I
you
am.
leave?
Yes, I am.
Dude, like she has claimed our spare bedroom and now she's claiming the basement.
And I already said I don't know where I'm gonna sleep tonight, so let's just make sure both of them I'm comfortable in.
Listen,
And
if you're
I'll
gonna
make a
do that, you
decision.
do it on a weekend or a Sunday night. Because Monday I go to work. I go to the office on a typical Monday. That's my office. You'd have to find your way up to the.
Oh, that's
bedroom.
okay. In the morning we're going to breakfast, so I'll be
Oh, okay.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be out.
No,
early.
All right.
he'll be out before you.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm not in a rush. We have to go to breakfast first.
Okay.
All right. Well, this has been Gender Clash. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you, Maxine, for joining us. This was fun.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy
Oh,
birthday
that's
to
right.
Maxine, everybody.
Maxine's birthday. So we were supposed to go out. We didn't go out. Maxine's just, see, this is why I love her so much. Because listen, like I was trying to make her birthday as special as it can possibly be.
It was special. It was time for Maritza to start doing her hair. She had already did her makeup. She messed up because she yarned, and I'm like, "Oh, you tired?" She was like, "I'm a little tired." I
Well,
was like-
because
I was like,
Maxine
"Oh, we can
comes to
stay
the
right
house
here."
at 3:00 and be like, "Hey, you have wine?" I was like, "All right, let's open up some
Three
wine."
bottles of wine later.
And then
I
we
know.
were 2 freaking bottles in, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm tired."
And now they're going heavy on the vodka. So
I know, yeah.
So now we're
Cheers.
doing vodka.
Happy birthday. Cheers.
happy birthday.
to
We
you.
switched.
All right, everybody, look us up on Gender Clash and wish Maxine happy birthday in the chat groups.
Thank you.
Get some stuff going here. All right, chat us, say hello, send us some
Dude.
subjects. We've only got about 12 left, and there's always more coming. Have a great night. Thanks for listening, and
Bye,
we'll catch up with
guys.
you soon.
Bye.